about a king. And so with all these illustrations suited to a child, we decided at this church, and the bookstore that is at this church said, let's have a book signing that's just for children. Now, I'm all over that. And this particular church is built in a square. And in the very center of it is just a beautiful piece of property outside. And so that particular day, that entire oasis, that's what we call that area, the oasis was decorated like a kingdom. Everything you can imagine. The children got to have their face painting. They got to have punch. They got to have popcorn. Everything you can think of. We had more pictures taken together than you can possibly count. And because the word had gone out that they could dress up like scenes in the book, they could dress up like the children in the book, Amanda, my oldest daughter, and I decided, well, we must not be outdone. We must dress up too. Well, what shall we dress like? Well, we shall dress like princesses. An old one and a young one. And so that is exactly what we did. Now, you'd have to understand that the whole idea was I would be doing the book signing, and that at a portion of it, I would stop, and they were to gather around me, and I was to read them the book, and then go back and do some more book signing and have my picture made with those who wanted to. And listen, it wasn't about those who wanted to. I said, does your mother have a camera? I need a picture with you. I said it over and over and over again. Now, you know, I have not come to drag that in front of you. I know women. And I know if somebody were telling me this story right now, I'd go, you better brought a picture to me. You better not be messing with me. And so you know I did. So I brought you a series of pictures, and I want you to take a look. Bring it up. I told you I dressed up. Now, right there, I'm reading the book, and they're gathered around me much, much bigger than you can see. But I wanted you to notice, of course, we had to get in participation. I had to ask some questions, and you can see we got hands up giving the answers. Can you see this little guy? I cannot tell you what was happening to my heart as it was literally throbbing and swelling with joy as one child after another stepped up to the table to have their book signed, and they were dressed from head to toe. Now, I've got to tell you what got me so much about this particular child and so many other of the little boys. We had told them to dress like they were part of a kingdom. That's how they were to come dressed. And I would have thought most of the little boys would somehow have come as princes. They would have come as a prince. That's not what happened at all. One or two did that. But for the most part, they came as valiant knights over and over. There was one mother that had 3 little boys, and the little one, he could not have been older than 3 years old. And when I said, can I shake your hand? He just stuck his sword out at me, and I had to shake the end of it. Now, you need to notice this, because this is a bevy of princesses from the back. Have you ever seen anything more precious in all of your life? Now, every princess needs a break for some popcorn. Every one of them. I want you to look at that. A little knight and a princess indeed. I have never seen so many princesses in all my life. I cannot get it out of my head. How those children dressed up. I cannot get it out of my head that when the boys chose what they wanted to be, they came as knights. Why? Made me think of some of John Eldridge's works. I wonder if you're familiar with him. The Journey of Desire and a number of others. And one of the points he makes is this, that every man has it in him to want to be courageous and for others to think he is courageous. And every woman has in them, I don't care what you would say today, it is true. Tell me you don't care, I will not believe you. Because every little girl and every grown-up woman has something in them that wants somebody to think they are Maybe it only takes just one. But every little girl wants to one day take somebody's breath away. What got me more than anything, I could not even go to sleep that night. Is that every single one of those children acted normal about being dressed up. They acted just like, this is who I am. Totally comfortable. None of them even looked at one another and tried to make the other feel silly. It was like, yeah. They acted like nothing was more normal than being dressed up as royalty. They acted, are you staying with me here? They acted like everything else was dressing up. Everything else is pretend. They were dressed like they were supposed to be dressed. They had come as they are. That's what got me. Not one of them ever acted like he or she was dressed up. Just sob about it still. How precious. How precious. I wanted him to always feel just that way. Feel just this way, child. Because this is who you really are. I'm not going to ask you to turn. I want you to sit still and listen to Ecclesiastes 3:11 and 12. It says he, and it's talking about God, has made everything beautiful in its time. Look at one another and say, in its time. He has also set eternity in the hearts of men, yet they cannot fathom what God has done from beginning to end. Think about that phrase. He has set eternity in our hearts. Could this feeling that children have that they are so special, really royal, be eternity set in the hearts of mankind that says, I know I'm supposed to be something. It's in me to believe I'm supposed to be something. Could that not be eternity set in the hearts of man? That in the face of mediocrity and an overwhelming sense of insignificance, we think, I am allergic to this. It wasn't supposed to be this way. I just know. I am special down in there. I am royalty down in there. And for those who trust in Christ, they are. That's something that says to a child this big, nothing would be shocking to them if you said, do you know, one day you will be a queen? Well, yes. And then I ask a grown-up little girl, do you know that someday you will be a queen? Who, me? Not me. Because somewhere in the middle of it, life happened.